The way I documented my journey from the beginning, showing live accounts, showing withdrawals, etc., is the same way I will show people how to make money from properties once I myself a good amount of months consistent results from it, and I've made money for myself. So right now I'm documenting that.
It's very cool.
And if I feel like I want to bring it out to the public at a certain time, I feel like I will, but at the right time I'll bring it out.
Oh, so for now you're just filming it and keeping it on?
Yeah, I'm just filming. Yeah, that's what I was doing with my trading content. I was just always filming myself. I didn't know I'll start a course one day. I'm a very I like to keep memories. So everything I do, I like to keep memories. I like to record it, keep it for myself. You know, just that kind of guy. Yeah, man.
What did you meant about buying in Dubai? You mean more like buying to flip?
To be honest with you, just like buying, waiting for the value to go up, sell it, and just repeating that model sort of. And I feel like once you've got your hands in a few different pies, I feel like buying properties is when you have that sort of I don't care money. You know what I mean? You can
politely put. I know what you're referring to.
Yeah, when you have that I don't care money, that's when you just buy properties, leave it. You don't care about it. You're just watching it grow. So yeah, I'll definitely be looking to buy in Dubai as well.
Because I'm not an expert by any means in real estate, but I believe like the UK and the Dubai one, in terms of markets, there will be very different ones.
Yeah.
Just seeing how Dubai is growing, as quick as it's growing, a 4-year building becomes old. A majority of people here rent. So they just want to move into the next building and move into the next building. So I'm not sure how that will affect as an investor point of view. Us, we also want to get involved into real estate. We're just like still looking into it. Things like this. We don't want to get into a building that maybe is 4 years old and then in 4 years it's 8 years and then maybe that in Dubai is complete obsolete or things like this. So it looks more like a short-term market of 4 years, 5 years. Do your returns, but at the same time, more flip it or sell it in that time. So
right now, I'll be honest with you, I'm not really educated in terms of the property market in Dubai. But I've got a friend that's an estate agent. I've got friends that have bought properties here. And one of my friends who just bought a 1-bedroom unit, and I think in the space of 3-4 months, he's already in profit 20k if he was to sell the property right now.
Right now things are crazy in Dubai, and I think a lot of people are getting caught up in the Dubai market, but they're not looking at it as it was like the crypto market where you're in a bull run and you're buying at the top. And what you got to realize is a lot of these estate agents obviously have an ulterior motive. They want you to invest so they get their commission. So I don't think they're the most reliable source for that kind of advice. All of us, I don't think we're educated enough to make these decisions, but I'm just speculating. My thought is that Dubai is a global hub and everybody's coming here. So that's why you're seeing this, bull run right now, because a lot of Russians are coming and they're having issues in their country. So there's an influx of money. But I don't think Dubai is ever going to reach a point where it's going to be number one globally or surpass number one global prices in terms of LA, Beverly Hills, London, major hubs. Dubai is approaching those prices now. So now if you're trying to buy it there, hoping you're going to, 20% return in a couple of months, it'll reach a global cap. Then, you'll have a healthy retracement and you'll see like that.
You have to imagine Dubai on TradingView.
Exactly. Yeah.
You get it. Right now you're buying at the top. You have to wait
for a bit of a retracement.
Yeah, wait for the retracement.
I agree.
I want to talk actually. I didn't know you were into this, but I'm interested in the business side of the rent to rent. In terms of the intricacies of, do you need a lot to start up, or is it more of a legal kind of thing where you just get owners that are into it? Or
so with that, I'm actually not going to share much on it right now.
Okay.
Because because I want to do it for myself.
Fair enough.
Like I want to be a product of the product, if that makes sense. I can't speak on something I haven't done myself. Like
you're still in the trenches.
I'm still in the trenches. When I get to the other side, I will come on and publicly speak about it. You can't speak with no results. You know what I mean? Of course, right now my properties are getting renovated, etc., etc. They're getting furnished. But yeah, once they're up and running and they're live, and I've actually made returns from them, I'll come on and I'll share it.
How many properties you
20
invested?
So
20.
Far.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I was going to do 40. I said let me start with 20.
20 is very good still.
20 is a good number.
Be around 40 in 3 months, inshallah. Yeah.
So yeah, I want to. In that case, we'll jump back to more trading. So something you mentioned was, you don't want to be a trader forever, or you'll transition to maybe more swing to free up time. So I guess as young guys, we're all searching for 3 things, which is time freedom, financial freedom, and geographical freedom. So, and with trading, you get 2 of them. You can get financial freedom because you can there's very few things in life where you do the same input and your output increases. Whereas if you're working as a estate agent, even if you work harder and harder, you'll reach a cap of what kind of commissions you make. As a dentist, you just work your hours, you get paid for your time. But trading is something leveraged where you can do the same thing, but 1% on a bigger account is compounded. So that kind of side is there. Geographical freedom can also be there, where you can work from different places. Obviously not from a beach where people will maybe portray it, but you could be free on your own terms. You're traveling around and you can still make something if you find time. But the issue is we don't have time freedom in the same way. And a lot of people do think, okay, let me start off very intraday, intra-session, and as I get better, maybe go more to swing trading. And I thought about that too for myself, and I realized that I'm not a swing trader by profession in terms of that's not where my speciality is or understanding is. So as I grow as a trader and now 5 years, then I reach 10 years and I'm very specialized into intraday, how am I going to just suddenly transition to swing because I prefer it? As in, if I started off as swing and I get time in under my belt, it's probably something I do, but I think it's a harder transition to just decide I want to be a swing trader. But I do believe what you said of, I don't think we should be traders for life. And the kind of the format I look at it is, let's say you have a 10-year plan in trading, and after 10 years, you want to kind of mentally exit, and therefore you want to transition more into business, let's say, or property, as you said. I think we've got to kind of look at it as you withdraw more as you go along. So as you reach your 10th year, you start to look to withdraw more. So then you can actually exit. Where in your first 3 years, only look to withdraw maybe 10% of your profits. You want to grow your account, but then as you reach the 9, 10, 11 years, that's when you should maybe look to withdraw 50%, 60%, and then eventually put it to use. In terms of business and so forth. So the property side, I guess you don't want to touch on now, but in terms of utilizing your capital, what is your plans apart from property?
I'm trying to be hands off. So when I said I'm trying to make a small slice from a big pie, I mean it in the sense of like, if something's already up and running, how can I utilize income to 10x it, to make it, just flow a little bit more, and to basically just add gasoline to the fire that's already started. So that's my aim now, and I'm focused on just making like small drinks. I feel like being a middleman is kind of looked down upon in the sense of like, if you're not the main guy, people think, oh, this guy's just a middleman type of thing. But I'm happy being a middleman, especially like once I move out to Dubai, there's a lot of ventures that I'm thinking of in my head where being a tactical middleman can get you to a lot of places, and it can open up many doors for you. So yeah, it's just, for me, like I said, it's just about diversifying, investing. If I see startups that I believe have potential, maybe negotiate, have a word with them and just invest. I'm trying to take the investor's approach to the point where like I have a certain goal in my mind that I want to make passive. People throw out the term passive income very loosely, but I want to make a certain amount passive a month, being hands off. And I feel like, if it makes sense.
So it's the three things we said, and you're trying to basically get your time freedom where trading is not giving it you, but other things can.
Most definitely.
Okay.
Most definitely.
When you were mentioning about investing into startups or projects that are up running and you'll be kind of the gasoline or all the investors, like a group of investors, do you have any sort of strategy coming in place? Or do you, for example, we've had different ventures now, and for example, the person that we're invested is very important to know their values or what's their strategy, things like this. Do you have any plans, or do you look into any other things?
So for me, I've got a very good friend of mine. His name's Samuel Palmer. He runs a very successful business called Menspire. He merges the barber industry and the hair salon industry into one. He's got over, I think, 25 stores globally, probably even more than that. I'm probably just haven't done it justice, but I asked him a question the other day. We met at Burj Al Arab, so he came to where I was staying, and I asked him just for some advice. I said to him, when you hire, what do you look for? And he said to me, sometimes I don't even hire barbers, he said. I hire people that have good morals, good values, good principles, because those are people that you can work on. When a person has ego, it's only a matter of time before they act like they're listening to you, but then they'll go off and do their own thing, stab you in the back probably, and you don't hear from them ever again. So he said the main thing that he looks for is values, principles, and good character. And when he said that, I related with it because that's the same thing that I would look for. I would look for, does this person have good character? Is this person humble? Is this person reliable? Does he have good ethics, good morals, just from the way they speak, what they live by, what they stand by? And obviously that's not enough. So now you have to look at the business side of things, if they're actually driven. So when I said add gasoline to the fire that's already been burning, I'm not here to open up an email, listen to somebody's fresh idea, and then me take all the risk, put it in, and then if it kind of flops, I'm the one that's taking the loss, not them. An example I give you is my very good friend. They started a clothing line, and they've had these designs, they've had the Instagram for so long. And when I took a look at their page, when I took a look at what they had going on, I said to them, "Why haven't you started this yet?" They said, "Yeah, we have everything in place. We just need the capital to get started." They literally had sheets of material, denim material for jeans. We have this supplier, this supplier, this supplier. We got these t-shirts, these tracksuits, this. So they had everything in place already. The logistics was set up, the account was set up, everything was ready. All they needed was income and investment to, get stock. And that's where I came in. So that's what I mean. When someone cares about their business too much already, and all they need is someone to come and just add gasoline to the fire. So it's like you're not getting a handout. You already have it there. You just have someone that's coming on board that has the same mindset to you. Someone that can add value rather than just, motivate you. Because I don't want to become a motivator. I don't want to motivate you to start your brand every day, to wake up. That's not what I'm here for.
No, you're right. When it comes to, let's say, angel investing, you're better off investing in the people than the business itself, because a lot of the things, the skills can be acquired and taught, or you hire the talent, but the hardest thing that you can't buy is the ethics, the values, the right person. And as you said, you don't want to be a motivator. You just want to kind of let them do their thing, and you give them a boost. That makes a lot of sense.
Most definitely.
I wanted to touch on an interesting topic. I don't know if you've spoken about this, but when it comes to all of our social medias, a lot of people can be inspired, or they can also kind of be envious. And I don't think we're posting with that intention of trying to get that emotion out of someone, or let's say flexing. It's more, we live our lives, and that can be, so for certain people, it can be very in your face. For other people, it might be, we're nowhere near their league. So and it's all about perspective, of course, but the social media thing does play a factor. So when it comes to the online stuff, how do you navigate it to, for example, Nasser, and also to not throw things in people's faces, but also you are just living your life. How do you navigate that?
So with that, I always tell the same story. I'm the same person who has documented my journey from beginning to end. On Snapchat, I used to upload videos of me putting in my PIN number at the ATM and showing that I have minus £6 in my bank account. And I'm living my life. I'm happy. Like I'm smiling. I'm like, yes, guys, I got minus £6, but one day I'm going to be a millionaire. I documented my journey just like that. I was in Toyota Priuses. I was in, I was sleeping on the floor. Never had a room. I was grinding it out. I never had money. I was showing all of these things. I used to wake up every morning, go to the forest in the morning, go for a run, sit on a bench and think, what is my life? I was very low. I was very depressed. I was documenting this journey. My social media could clearly see I was broke. I was in a very, very low point mentally. I was depressed, and I was someone who's just trying to figure out his purpose. Now, the same way I documented my low times, I'm documenting the other side now. I'm 24 years old. I drive a McLaren. I live in a penthouse. 6 figures a month is alhamdulillah. 6 figures a month is a target that
a lot of people aspire to
do. And alhamdulillah, we do 6 figures a month. I'm young. I like to be a motivator for people. I like to show people, look, this is where I was. You witnessed it. You had me on Snapchat, and look at where I am now. You guys were in my position. If you guys are in my position, get up, find your purpose, overcome depression. Find a reason to wake up every day. They say 80% of any change is knowing how. 80% of any change is knowing why. 20% is knowing how. A lot of the times we'll focus on the logistics of how am I going to do this? Sometimes you just got to get up and ask yourself, how many people are counting on me? If I don't do this, who's going to make it out for my family? So for me, people that, watch me online and say, oh, why is this guy flexing this, that, and the other? It's like, you can't say that to me, because I was showing minus £6 in my bank account. I was showing how I was living. I was showing that I couldn't afford to do things. And I kept on saying on social media, one day I will succeed and you will witness the journey.
How long was this change? For example, from being completely broke, minus £6 in your bank account, to now 6 figures a month, which is a lot of money.
Yeah.
How long was this?
2 years.
And did you feel...
from lockdown, sorry, no. 3 years.
Third year in.
Yeah, third year
now
in.
my next question is, because I imagine it was going to be very short as you were speaking about your journey. Did you feel this quick or drastic change in your life? Because again, it's a lot of money from being broke to 100K a month. Do you feel it had any change on you?
By the way, it's not like a 6 figures, like it's not like 100K a month. Like that's, like I said,
averaged out.
Yeah, like
okay. Yeah, but still it's a lot of money. So
no, sorry, I don't mean it in an arrogant way, as in like
no.
100K. It's more than 100K.
No,
I mean,
no.
like just
we completely understand. I meant it more.
And whoever's watching here, I said it might not be me, just in case some people are watching.
Yeah. No, I meant it more in a way that even though it's span out in a year, that salary or that money that you're making, it's on the top % of incomers in the world.
Yep.
So in being in a short period of time, how do you feel that have been affected yourself, or if it did?
Yeah, to be honest with you, bro, the transition between a couple of thousand, 10,000 to 6 figures and 7 figures didn't take that long, because they say your first 100K is the hardest to make. My first 100K, bro, was years. I was always trying to make 100K for like maybe 6 years. I was trying to make 100K. Then I made my first 100K, and then literally like months later I made my first 7 figures. So the jump from 100K to $1 million was quick, but the jump from 0 to 100K was years, you know? So that was slow. But the 100K to 7 figures, because it's like once you made 100K, you've got a method, you've got a working method. All you got to do is just
double down on it.
You got
the leverage of the skill.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, they say what happens fast doesn't last.
Yep.
Or, quick income, the quicker it comes, the quicker it goes. And I'm sure you're cognizant of that. What kind of things do you put in place to stop yourself getting caught up? Especially if a lot of people in your position, they've come into money in a relatively short amount of time. They might feel like the king of the world, and they're spending and they're throwing money and not smart with it.
Yep.
I'm sure you're not like that. So what kind of things do you do to battle that?
Number one, I would say, not to get all preachy, I feel like you have to understand your purpose in this life. I'm a Muslim, first and foremost. I understand my purpose is to worship Allah alone and associate no partners, and to generally be a good human being, to the point where if Allah has blessed me with something, I understand my right to give it and spread it. So if Allah has blessed me with a certain amount of money, I know that on the day of judgment, I'm going to be held accountable if I haven't used it in a positive way. So not to say that I'm someone who's charitable, probably not. But I would say if you run into money, definitely give away, I would say at least 30 to 40% of what you earn, because it's a verse in the Quran where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he says, اعملوا آل داود شكرا ولئن شكرتم. If you are grateful, I will increase you. You know, and people say, yeah, but Allah just spoke about gratitude here. Gratitude is actually showing through your actions. You have to show, you have to give in gratitude. So I would say give, spend. Charity does not decrease your wealth. You hear it 100 times every Ramadan, you hear it, I know. But that's one thing that helps me, knowing that I can have an impact on someone's life with what Allah has blessed me with. And also make smart investments. And like I said, try and focus on being a middleman, try and focus on investing, try and focus on, if you're a trader, don't just be a trader. Why are you limiting yourself to just be a trader? At the end of the day, you have to face the screen every day and deal with psychology. So you want to limit the reasons to anything that's contributing to, anything that's detrimental to your psychology. So if you're making income, withdraw, use that, invest, put it into whatever it is that, you feel that you believe in. So that's what I would say. Like if you, I feel like if you do good will come to you. And
do you spend a lot of time back in your home country or in third world countries?
No, the last time I went to my country, I was 13.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was going to say, in the UK, obviously there's poverty and wealth in the UK, but it's not really real poverty in terms of people truly on the breadline like there would be in Yemen or Pakistan. So therefore in the UK I felt a little bit sheltered away from it, where you do see people struggling, but not too many people are on the street in the same way, where you can get help from the government or you get welfare, or there's ways around it. It's not as bad. But when you look at other countries, obviously it's atrocious. I think for me, at least, coming to Dubai, when you see the harsh realities of the other side, it does put it into perspective more than just seeing it on TV or hearing stories. And the anecdote I wanted to give, and we're in a country right now where there is kind of a class divide, where you do have the Western passport holds value. Right or wrong, it does. And it's a shame. So you have people, for example, from my country, Pakistan, and they're majority of the working force in terms of the construction, taxi drivers, the labor. And there's no difference between me and them. The only difference is my dad moved to the UK when I was younger, or actually before I was born. So therefore I was born with a specific passport.